watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Jen, Convicted Hearts, and she was speaking on a story about a child molester, and I get really brought back, you know, some memories that I had, and I had made a comment that, wow, like, I experienced something similar and I should, you know, vlog about it. And, you know, she encouraged me, was like, absolutely, yes, make a video about it. So here we go. All right, so I'm 50 years old now, and when I was a child, I grew up in a broken home, meaning my dad was not in the household. However, my mother always desired to have a family, like a mom, a dad, and the children. So my mother, and I love her to death. I love my mother so much. And I love my dad so much. And unfortunately, my dad passed away last year. We were very close. So rest in peace, Daddy. I love you. So my mom got married, like she was married like 7 times. And, you know, she had plenty of boyfriends in between, trying to, you know, get that family life. Now, one of her husbands was sus. I'm gonna say sus because he was country, and he was a little too feminine for me. Now, you could attribute that to, you know, country men or men from the South are very polite. They and they have an accent, but this was something like way further. He was just way too polite and way too country and way too extra on everything. So at the time, I had 2 siblings. My oldest sibling, which we have the same mom and same dad, he passed away. Rest in peace, Clyde Jr. He's with my dad. And then there was me, that left me to be the oldest. And then I have a younger sister. She's 8 years younger than me. And then I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than her. So me and my younger brother were like 12 years apart. Now, my younger brother, he used to do like interesting things when he was younger, to the point where I told my mother, like, something's going on, you know, you need to get him checked out, whatever. Eventually he was diagnosed with mild retardation. You wouldn't know it if you just saw him, but when he started talking and doing things, it's like, okay, yeah, something's going on with this bro. So my mom got him some help, and all the resources that, you know, at her fingertips, she, you know, got help for him. And so at that time, when he was around, I'm gonna say 6 or 7 years old, my mom had this husband that I'm talking about, who seemed sus to me, but I didn't do too much interacting with him because I was older and I had a job. I was working. You know, when I was 14 years old, I had a job and I was going to school. I did, at the time, I do believe I was at EMT school. It was called Med Help in Concord, and I received my EMT certification to, you know, drive ambulance. And my goal was to be an EMT for 6 months, and then, you know, you have to be an EMT in the field for 6 months before you would even be considered to go to paramedic school. So that was my goal, and that was my focus. And I stayed away from the house as much as possible. So anyways, I have at the time, my sister-in-law, we were very, very close. And even though I'm not with her brother anymore, like, we're not together anymore, she and I were still close, even though we don't talk every day. Now, she is what they call, like, the world will call it psychic. In a spiritual realm, we call it discernment, or you were born with a veil. So in other words, she knew things before they would happen. She could tell you, like, the phone, literally, I've witnessed this with my own eyes and own ears. The phone could ring, and before she would even answer, she would say, such and such died. And we'd be like, what? And she would answer the phone, and it would be somebody saying such and such has died. And so after so many of those types of occurrences, I was a believer. I was like, wow, like, dang, she really is psychic. So one day, my mom, the weird husband, and my little brother went to her house, and they just went for a visit. I don't even think they stayed that long. So they left, and then she called to me, and she says, Nina, they used to call me Nina, and they used to call me Dre. She goes, she called me Dre. She said, Dre, there's something going on with your brother and Donnie. And I go, what are you talking about? And she says, he is doing something to your brother. And I'm like, why would you say that? How would you know that? Tell me more. She said, I'm telling you right now, there is something going on with your stepfather and your brother. He is doing something to your brother. He is molesting your brother. And I'm like, why would you even say something like that? Like, I don't think that's true. But anyways, I took that to heart, and I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, because my brother was a sweet boy. He was a sweet child, a loving child, and very helpful, and just like the most loving child, son, and little brother that you could possibly have. Just innocent. So I go home, and nobody's there. So actually, you know what? The stepfather was there. And as I'm coming to the front door, I passed by, my mom's bedroom, and I saw him there, and I doubled back and I looked, and I told him, check this out. If I find out that you've been doing something to my little brother, I'm gonna get you. And his response was, why are you coming in here jumping on me? Why are you coming in here? I said, I'm not jumping on you yet. I said, but if I find out that you've been doing something to my brother, I'm gonna give you the business. And so he hurried up, got his stuff together, keys, whatever, and he bounced. So my brother was there, and I told my brother, come in the kitchen and let's sit down at the table. Nina has, Nina wants to talk to you. Nina, that's me. Like I said, they used to call me either Nina or they used to call me Dre. So I said, Nina wants to talk to you. So I sat him down, and I told him first, listen, and I tried to keep my composure, as best I could. I told him, I say, listen, you are not in trouble for anything. I just want you to be honest with me, and I want you to tell me the truth. And you're not in trouble. You haven't done anything wrong. Has Donnie been putting his hands on you, or has he done anything to you inappropriately? Has he touched you anywhere that's on your body? I took a deep breath, and he said yes. And I didn't make a reaction. I said, okay, tell me more about that. Tell me more. You're not in trouble. Tell me more. And he says, he be putting his thing in my mouth. I said, oh, wow, okay. What else? He said he be putting his thing in my butt. I said, okay. Where's mom when all this is going on? He said, mommy be asleep. At that time, my mother was on a lot of different medications, and she was asleep a lot. So I go, listen, little bro, you don't ever have to worry about that ever happening again. It's over. You are free, and you have done nothing wrong. And don't ever worry about him ever putting his hands on you again, ever. I gave him a hug. He cried. I cried. And I told him, dry your tears and dry your eyes, because this day you have been set free. Told him to go play and do whatever. Remember, the stepdad bounced. So I called my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law at the time, and I told her, you know, the conversation that I have on Reddit. So we rounded up the homies from Oakland. Got my pillowcase, filled it with canned sodas, and I knew where the stepdad's aunt lived, and that's probably where he would go. So we went to look for him. Listen, y'all, I made it to my destination. I'll be back and tell the rest of my story.